Hi, good evening everyone. This is Wafalango and welcome you all in Grammar in Detail. As we are discussing the 15th kind of verb, it is known as the auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verb we have already discussed three kinds. Number one was helping or primary verbs which we discussed, and the second one was modal auxiliary verbs, and today we have got the last. It's known as semi-modal auxiliary verbs. The definition of semi-modal auxiliary verbs: those verbs which sometimes work as modal auxiliary verbs and sometimes do not work as modal auxiliary verb are called semi-modal auxiliary verbs. Those verbs which sometimes work as modal auxiliary verbs and sometimes do not work as modal auxiliary verb. Sometimes they work as modal auxiliary verb and sometimes do not work as modal auxiliary verbs are called the semi-modal auxiliary verbs. Note for the semi-modal auxiliary verbs: need and day are called the semi-modal auxiliary verbs. There are two modal auxiliary verbs. The first one is known as need and the second one is day. Need and day are your modal auxiliary verbs and sometimes they do not work as, so they will be working as only verb. I will differentiate between the two, that how they work as modal auxiliary verb and they do not work as modal auxiliary verb. If you remember, you were taught the modal auxiliary verbs are followed by bare infinitives. What are bare infinitives? Only first form of the verb is called bare infinitive. After modal auxiliary verbs, we use only first form of the verb. But with semi-modal auxiliary verb, with need and day, keep in your mind, second note I'm going to tell you, need and day as a modal auxiliary verb are always followed by to. Means before your verb you will put to, then first form of the verb. So keep in your mind, with the modal auxiliary verbs, semi-modal auxiliary verbs, need and day, you are going to use the to plus first form of the verb. Now need and day as a modal auxiliary verb and as a simple verb, how you are going to use them. I need to help him. Here need is your modal auxiliary verb and it is followed by to plus first form of the verb. I need to help him means it is used as should. I should help him. It gives the meaning of should, but here I need to help him is followed by to plus first form of the verb. In the second example, the same is used as a verb only. Suppose I say he needs money. Here it is need, needed, needing, needs. So this is only a verb. But here it is followed by to plus first form. So here it will be working as modal auxiliary verb. In the same way, we need to understand. Need is followed by to understand the lecture. We need to understand the lecture means we should understand the lecture because it is important. And we add needed you. Here it is used as verb only. And the second one is day. You dare to talk with him. You add that encouragement to talk with him. You add that energy to talk with him. Day is followed by to plus first form talk, to talk with him. And how you are going to use it only as a verb, this should be in your mind. How dare you? Here it is used as only verb. And next we have got he dared to argue with the Prime Minister. Day is your modal auxiliary verb and followed by to plus first form with the Prime Minister. He wanted to fight but he didn't dare. Means here it is used only verb. So this is what the semi-modal auxiliary verb here we discussed, and hope today's lecture is clear for you. See you next time with the next lecture. Goodbye.